Texting. Reporting live from a very, very, very disgusted sack this evening. This show was not planned. The highly questionable one flying solo tonight in lieu of the total fucking embarrassment that is the Boston Celtics. Welcome to IDD. For those of you know, I don't disagree. I'm wondering who's going to disagree with what I'm about to say tonight. I really want to see which pom-pom waving, scrotum scrubbing fucking pink hats come out and try and defend the Boston Celtics after tonight's absolute fucking debacle at the TD Garden. The Celtics pulled another no-show tonight, losing to the hapless, listless, sackless Lakers, the fake show, whose two best players didn't even bother to get dressed. LeBron suddenly had an ankle problem. Didn't hear about an ankle problem the other night, but can't do it. What a great fucking night he had. Great scene he had to watch the Celtics again show the world who they really are, which is the biggest front-running frauds in the NBA. As the Lakers, who were 10 games below 500 on the road and got bum blasted the other night to the hapless Atlanta Hawks, come into Boston and bitch slap the defending the number one seed in the East and the best record in the NBA. They come in and they win 114-105. That is not a misprint. This is not an April Fool's joke. Austin fucking Reeves, who the last time they met on Christmas Day out in LA had 11 points on a meaningless 4 of 9 shooting performance, boat raced the Boston backcourt and Jaylen Brown for good measure to the tune of 32 points on 10 of 18 shooting. How on God's green fucking earth is that possible? I'll tell you how it's possible. Because the Boston Celtics did what this rendition of the Boston Celtics always does. They look at the opponent across the way, they look at the roster, and based on what they see, this is before the ball even goes up, they decide the level of intensity, commitment they're going to bring that night. And at the end of the first quarter, they were down 3. At the end of the second quarter, they were down 14. Because they took that team lightly yet again, and teams that don't learn from their mistakes, not only are they destined to repeat them, but they don't win championships. And I'm not pinning this on the new guys, the Porzingis. Porzingis had 17, 7, and 5 blocks. He wasn't a problem, okay? Holiday had a bad game, but Holiday's going to have a bad game right now. He's 33 years old. I want to know, where the fuck were Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the two so-called all-stars on this team? Tatum wound up because he, in garbage time, he wound up with 23 points. He actually made 50% of his threes. But again, he was nowhere to be found when it mattered. He shot a terrible 8 for 21 from the field. He missed about 4 layups. Jaylen Brown, once again, another $304 million for, how's this, America? 4 for 12 shooting, 0 for 3 from 3. He had 3 turnovers. He was a minus 20, a deplorable 8 points. Austin Reeves wiped his ass with Jaylen Brown tonight. Austin Reeves wiped his ass with a $304 million all-star tonight. And that's the fucking truth. And if Brian Scalabrine doesn't have the balls to call it like it is, because he's getting paid by the organization, he's not going to trash him. In fact, according to my source up there, my friends, he's trying to say they played better in the second half. Well, could they have played any worse? They were down 14. They lost by 9, so I guess statistically, Scal, you were right. Good for you, Scal. They played better. Shut the fuck up, Scal. I'm so sick of you and your fucking hometown bullshit. Okay? One guy I know gets a ring riding a stationary bike. Sit down and shut up, Scal. Nobody with a fucking brain that knows basketball is interested in your opinion tonight. Okay? What a fucking joke. What an absolute fucking joke of a team, this Boston. All the talent in the world and a Syracuse fucking head. That's right, I said Syracuse. This reeks of Jim Boeheim type shit. How many times did the more talented team out there in Western New York fucking lose to inferior opponents because they got outplayed? Because they didn't show up. There's a team down in Lexington, Kentucky, run by another guy like that, Calipari. We went off about him the other night. This fucking Celtics team is an absolute fucking disgrace to the uniform. I don't want to hear about their fucking record at home. They've lost 3 of their last 5. They were lucky to beat the Pelicans. Lucky to beat they were up on the Pacers by 20. Let them come all the way back. I mean, the warning signs are there again, America. And let's talk about this style of play for the upteenth fucking time. Okay? The number, if you're going to do this stupid fucking style of play, and it is fucking stupid, because only one team's ever won with it, and they had their backcourt is called the Splash Brothers. I think you've heard of them. Okay? If you're going to do this, there's got to be a happy medium. Around 33s a game, but you got to get to the foul line at least 20 times. Well, guess what happened tonight? The Celtics took 48 threes against a Laker team with no discernible shot blocker in the paint. 48 threes. They took 7 free throws. At home for the entire fucking game. Are you... I mean, what level of stupid are we talking about at this point? What level of idiocy are we dealing with here, Celtics fans? The real ones. The ones who saw Garnett and Allen and Pierce and Bird and Parrish and McHale and DJ and Ainge. Okay, the ones who go back to Cowens and Havlicek in the latter days. What level of stupidity are we talking about right now? 15 fucking turnovers. And they were awful fucking turnovers. They, again, were JV-level turnovers. The entire starting 5 was in the minuses, plus-minus. The funny thing is, Porzingis, who actually is the one guy in the starting 5 that had a good game, was a minus 22. I don't know how the fuck that happened when you have 17 points, 7 rebounds, 5 blocks, 3 assists. How are you a minus 22? I don't get that. And you shoot 7-15. I mean, I don't get it. The bench was the only thing that had any life. Hauser had one of his best games, 17 points. Pritchard and this Cater, the kid, the Jamaican, whatever is he Jamaican? I forget where he's from. But he had 7 points. Pritchard had 8. He was a plus 13. But other than the bench, I mean, please. Horford, again, too many threes. 16 of 48. That's over half half their shots were threes, 7 free throw attempts. By the way, the Lakers went to the line 26 times and hit 19 free throws. So there's a 12-point difference right there in your building from the foul line. They lost by 9. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. If the Celtics had just gone to the basket, and when they had the lead, I'll tell you when this game really turned. Boston gets it to 6. Towards the end of the third quarter, they have the ball, and Jason Tatum, their best players, got it. He's on a bit of a run. But what he should have done if he knew how to play basketball would have been, and recognizing the situation was, all right, we're down 6 on the ball. The Lakers are reeling. Go to the basket, get a foul, get to the line. Not this jack-off. This clown shoots another 3. Fucking brick. They go the other way. Fucking layup, and the run ends. They never got closer again. Just talk about fucking unaware. Totally fucking unaware of the situation and how to play basketball. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they are the 2 leaders of this fucking disgusting display of fucking basketball. And after all this time and all these losses, and it's the same way every fucking time, these 2 refuse to learn their lesson. Either they're monumentally stupid or they're stubborn. It's one or the other. Okay? But at this point, how on earth can anyone look at this team, look at the 3 losses they have at home in the last 2 weeks? And they should have lost to the Pacers because they blew a 20-point lead. And again, they were up 20. Halliburton comes off the court, doesn't play, and they're up 20 when he leaves, and they held him to 5 for 16. They take their foot off the gas. Pacers come all the way back the other night and take the lead. Boston has to hold on and make 2 defensive plays to win it at the end. That there was a warning sign that this fucking team doesn't get it. 3 hours before the game comes out today, and I was saying it. Everybody was talking about it. It's announced in the LA from the training staff that LeBron James and Anthony Davis will both be out. Right there, we should have known there was going to be trouble. Because this is what they do. This is literally what they do. You can set your fucking watch by it, and it's getting old, and it's getting tired, and I am sick of it. I'm fucking sick of watching this team piss it away, okay? Because they just think on certain nights all they have to do is show up. Hey, newsflash, you ain't that fucking good. Okay, Tatum? Okay, Brown? I'm talking to you two overhyped, overrated, multi-talented, 5-cent head motherfuckers. You aren't that fucking good. You aren't good enough to show up and win. You proved it again tonight. And if no one's going to have the fucking balls to say it to you, then honestly, you don't have real people in your circle that care about you. Somebody's got to grab these two by the fucking and shake them out of this fucking. It's unbelievable how many championships these two have left on the table, and they're about to leave another one. I'm sick and tired of this shit. One's a fluke, two's a trend, three's a problem. They pissed away the Denver game. They didn't even show up against the goddamn Clippers. Okay, because they boat raced them out in LA by 32, and that's the problem. They beat them out in LA by 32, but Kawhi didn't play. But Porzingis didn't play either. Kawhi shows up, Porzingis doesn't, they get beat by 20 at home. Okay? And then the Pacers the other night, where when Halliburton's out there, they play hard, they play to their potential, they're up 20 almost at the half. He comes out, doesn't play the second half, and literally that team without him comes all the way back and takes the lead on you, and you're at home. And then tonight, give me a fuck. And this isn't just anybody, this is the fucking Lakers. Okay? You've got to be kidding me. Talk about not understanding the moment. Unfucking believable. Tatum and Brown. Really? When is someone going to hold you two accountable? Because Brad Stevens clearly isn't going to do it. When is somebody going to... I'm not even talking about fucking Missoula. He's a yes man. Okay? He's a fucking puppet. I don't care what he says. I don't know why anybody even listens to him when he opens his mouth. I don't even know why anybody even asks him a question. He's useless. Okay? He's just an enabler. Okay? When is someone going to hold Tatum and Brown accountable? How many fucking championships does this team got to piss away before someone holds these two accountable? Or maybe, just maybe, trades their asses? Because let's be clear here. If this team with all this talent does not win the title this year, blow it up. Blow it up. Because you're going to lose to an inferior team from a talent perspective. Of course, injuries, barring injuries, assuming the Celtics are healthy come playoff time, they should win this championship, and it should almost be a runaway. Nobody can match up with them. And the bench is getting better. The bench wasn't the problem tonight. The starting five didn't show up. Most of them. Porzingis is the only one, and he started terrible in the first quarter, but they all did. Okay, I'm not going to hold it. They were all terrible. Tatum and Brown are supposed to be the guys that set the tone for this team. Oh, they set it all right in the first quarter. Okay, they set it all right in the first quarter. They were fucking awful. After the first couple of minutes, they were fucking useless. Tatum didn't do a damn thing till the second quarter. Brown started out pretty good, then he disappeared. Disappearing act. Jalen Disappearing Act Brown. That's his fucking nickname. It's like unbelievable. Every time they need him, he disappears. So they go down tonight to the fake show, 114-105 at home. A fake show without LeBron and without AD. And Austin Reeves, who in LA they held to 11 points, boat races them for 32 points on 10 for 18 shooting, 7 for 10 from the three. So much for that great defensive backcourt. They had one guy to stop, and they couldn't, wouldn't, or whatever, didn't do it. And again, last time he played, he had 11 points, so he wasn't on their radar, obviously. After he hit his third three, you'd think he would have been, but he wasn't. So Boston falls to 37-12. Yeah, they still have the best record in the league. And all the fucking pink hats go, come on, man, you're being too hard at 37-12. No one, I said this before and I'll say it again. No one with a brain gives a fuck about their regular season record. But it's losses like this that tell you what they're all about. Okay? They still scoreboard watch. They still look at the opponent and judge them by their record and the roster, who's playing there, who's not. They still have not learned this lesson. And when are they going to learn it? These guys aren't rookies anymore. Tatum's in his 6th or 7th year. Brown's in his 7th year. These guys ain't rookies anymore. They're veterans. And those two are supposed to set the tone. And you could tell from the get-go they weren't in it. Those two were not in it mentally. They weren't. And the third quarter, when they made their run, Tatum was diving on the floor when he realized what the fuck was going on. But then he reverted back to his old self, jacking up threes instead of going to the basket. And then when he goes to the basket, doesn't get called, instead of running back, he turns and cries to the official. Typical. That's what he does. Unfucking believable. And how did Jaylen Brown make the All-Star team? Derek White deserved it more. And Derek White had a bad game too, but I can count on one hand the number of bad games Derek White has had this year. I need more than that for Jaylen Brown. Okay? So, in any event, I'm disgusted, but I had to come on here and vent before I started breaking stuff in my house. Just fucking disgusted with this team. Just absolutely disgusted with them. I may not talk about them till the playoffs because honestly, I don't give a frog's fat ass what they do in the regular season anymore. Okay? You better get the 1 seed because I know this. If they don't get the 1 seed, they're going down. I'll tell you right now, if they face the New York Knicks tomorrow in a 7-game series, the Knicks will beat them because I know this. The Knicks have more heart. The Knicks play better defense. The Knicks have better chemistry, better cohesion, and the Knicks have the better coach. They do. No one's going to tell me Mazzulla is a better coach than Tibbs. Nobody with a brain would tell you that. Nobody who knows basketball would tell you that. Okay, so if I'm Boston, I'm praying to God I don't see New York because New York will beat them in 6, and they will. Right now, New York beats you in 6. So get your head out of your asses before you piss away another one. I'm done with your bullshit. Seriously, Tatum and Brown, done with your bullshit. Done with your front-running frauds. The Boston Celtics tonight, until further notice, they are literally the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA. That is what they are. The Boston Celtics are the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA. A bunch of front-running, multi-talented frauds who, when they get hit in the mouth, fold like a fucking lawn chair. Okay? And they're going to have to change my mind on that. The only way to do that is to win a championship. Until further notice, the Dallas Cowboys and the Boston Celtics are synonymous with front-running, fraudulent fucking players. And they've done it too many times. I wouldn't even try to defend them at this point. They could win 16 in a row. I still wouldn't defend them because I know that this is still in them. And until I never see it happen again, and I'm not talking about a bad night where they're going to the basket, it's not falling. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about settling. They settle. 48 threes, 7 free throw attempts, and you're at home. Lakers go line 26 times, make 19. 12 points right there at the foul line. The game was lost. Forget everything else. If these dickheads had gone to the basket, because LA had no discernible shot blocker in there, the 2 best slashers in the game arguably are Brown and Tatum. 7 free throws. Tatum tonight took 2 free throws. Jaylen Brown didn't take any. That's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Those 2 guys, 2 free throws between them at home. I've said my piece. Brian Scalabrine, shut the fuck up. People are just getting dumber listening to you, trying to tell people they played better in the second half. No, they didn't. No, they really didn't. Because if they had, they would have won. Losing by 9 as opposed to losing by double digits is not a moral victory. It's an embarrassment. A LeBron-less, Anthony Davis-less Laker team who, when they played against them on their floor, beat them by 11, and it wasn't that close. Lose to that team tonight by almost the same amount. Fuck off. Honestly, Celtics, fuck off. Take your heads out of your ass or go fuck yourselves. And seriously, if they don't win the title this year, Brad Stevens, you better start thinking about trades. Because running it back with these frauds, and I'm talking about Brown and Tatum. You think I'm crazy? What the fuck have these 2 done other than underachieve? All I hear about is their talent, stat sheet stuffers, but every fucking year, much like that football team down in Irving, Texas, they fall short. Facts, not opinion. Change the narrative or change your residence. That's for Tatum and Brown. Sick of you 2. Seriously. Go fucking soak your head and think about whether you really want to be a Celtic or not. Because you 2 don't represent the Celtics. You 2 represent yourselves. And that's it. And that's all right now. Okay? And until I see you put a banner up there, okay, that doesn't say Eastern Conference champions or NBA runner-up, it doesn't matter. Those don't matter. Until next week, you guys enjoy the weekend. Duke, Carolina, Saturday. We'll see what happens there. I'm picking Carolina for the record. Hopefully I'm wrong about that. But we'll see you next week. The Redoubtable will return with me to discuss the weekends at sporting events and to start preview, get the previews ready for the Super Bowl. Until then, for the highly questionable one, the Redoubtable one, stay loose, peace and love. Tatum, Brown, wake the fuck up. Frauds. 2 of you. Frauds.